Hello, collective. Welcome, welcome. You know what it is. If it resonates, you shall take it. All right. This is gonna be quite spiritually based. Okay, low key. It could also give off based on my own experience. So if you're here for it, stay tuned. Um, I just want to thank God for being God. Okay, first and foremost. And I feel like wherever it resonates, you should do too. Okay. But the first message is this: the universe is on your side. The universe is on your side, and you guys are good to go. Okay? Whatever the case may be, the universe is on your side. Because people be on some shenanigans, and today is also the full moon in Leo. Doesn't matter? No. But I do know from the patterns I see a lot of people be on some bullshit during this full moon, new moon, days. Okay? The universe is on your side. That is the first message. The second one is this, if you resonate with my belief system, is that you are God's chosen ones in terms of you're God's children. Okay? And being a child of God comes with a lot of obstacles. Hold up. A lot of blessings and a lesson. Okay, let me rephrase. Um, I know about you guys, but the gaslighting has been quite evident, very recent, and I'm here like, oh, okay, I've done everything I can do spiritually and physically, and even with witnesses on my side, there's a specific individual that still is in this energy, and it reminds me of the scripture in the Bible when God says, "Their hearts are hardened, the eyes can't see, the ears can't hear." Because they have this like stumbling block on their shoulder. Okay, those are the people that will go in their ego, die in it. Okay, it's giving narcissistic people, right? But and God reminded me of that scripture, and then God also reminded me of um the reason why I go through things as a chosen one, as a child of God, is probably to correct certain people. Um, even though I don't want to, I am used as an example. Um, Because at first, I think my conclusion was, okay, maybe I did something karmatic. Because why am I still dealing with gaslighting people? Even with evidence, even with people that are supporting me, that person is still very much on their BS, on their shenanigans. And then I understand, and I think I mentioned in one of my readings that a lot of familiar spirits seems to reincarnate, okay, body jump or whatever, soul jump or however you want to call it. And I'm here like, but I don't really deal with these people. Why am I still going through that cycle with so and so? And despite people supporting me and seeing what it is and seeing that person for what they are, I guess I'm in there for them to say that, you know what, it's the first and last time that you on some BS with the chosen one. And if you don't learn with my children, you learn some other way. But it's better if you learn from my children. So next time this gaslighter is out and about and doing their job, they remember the days of me as a lesson. Okay? Because it could have been a blessing though. And I also think me myself, which is perhaps my lesson in some way, I have the tendency of even if people do me wrong, to minimize what they have done so they are okay. Like I'm like I put a bandage on their wrongings against me so they're okay. I guess people pleasing, right? Maybe that's something I need to get out of. But you can correct somebody and you can voice up your opinion and not being in this people pleasing energy. And I know over the course of the years, I've not pushed it to the side and stand in it. But like I said, recently, the specific gaslighter was here, kind of like low key. You ain't got no voice to speak up, right? And all the things that they were gaslighting me about and they're like getting frustrated because of my silence or my voice, because it didn't even make sense to me. And the funny thing was, while the witnesses was watching this happen, I was like, okay, maybe this is just the views of the world. Like, there's always going to be a gaslighter. It is what it is. But mostly you're like, no, God said, I removed your enemies. I, I'm here for the righteous. I'm here for the saints. I'm here for the holy. Even one mistake in one of my documents that kind of went sideways. Um, I was one person in their team. They saw they were also trying to be on this gaslighting energy, but then they checked the documents because I wrote something to them about, if you want to fix this, fix it. If not, I'm gonna leave it be. And they called me up and they're like, I don't know what this is all about. And then they checked because, okay, we realized 5 hours later, we're right. So I was like, oh my God, hallelujah, thank you, Lord. And she said something very specific, even though she was trying to battle me about my opinion or me, yeah, my opinion basically about things that was not allocated right. She said something very profound, and I feel like God, because I prayed and God opened her heart, and that's probably why she called me, like, okay, you're actually right. She said something that what's supposed to be right is going to be right. And I broke down in tears because it reminded me of like righteous will always be righteous. You know, the righteous will always be favored, right? There's no changing that. Like if you're righteous, you're righteous. If you're a saint, you're a saint. If you're holy, you're holy. And basically, it's symbolic for those people who like pray 5 times a day. Because I used to be one of those people where it's like I don't curse, I don't drink, I don't smoke, and like living very clean, right? I still do some of it, but like I'm not gonna sit here like I don't curse, right? But you know how there are different levels to how people have their relationship with God. I used to be very strict back in the days, but I'm like mellow. Okay, there is a balance in it. That's where I remember that scripture, and God said to me at the beginning of the year, because I was really going through it. And I didn't understand why, because I'm the type of person, 10 times out of 10, if it's not the people, it's the environment. And since I'm very secluded from the environment and the people, I should be good, at least from a distance. But then I realized the people pleasing needs to change, or me addressing certain things that should not be buried and so on. So it's a process. Healing is a process, right? And God was like, not only you are my peoples, my daughter, but you're also holy. The holy part is in the Bible. I still don't consider myself as holy because I don't live a squeaky clean life, right? Um, Emphasis on decursing and we're watching things that it's not biblical or have been partaking in sin. Not that you have to have a squeaky clean life, but it says in the Bible, like you have to kind of operate the same way that Christ is operating, and he was pure, so be pure too. But there's certain things I know it's not biblical, so therefore I'm not holy. But according to the words of the Lord, I am. Okay, now that is in my head still up for debate. So um, I say this to say God is very good. And in Exodus, when he's like, "Don't worry about man, vengeance is mine," he stands on business. A few other scriptures that I was talking about, and I think the prayer with me in January. I was like a bunch of scriptures. I was just like meditating. You can go and check that out. Pray with me in January. Uh, Talked about how don't you worry, cast all your fears upon me. Um, Let me take your burdens, because the burden is light, according to Joshua, Jesus Christ. Um, there was also a few other scriptures talking about how why are you worrying about man, aka humankind, when you're with me? Like don't worry about man when you're walking with me. Worry about the one that can kill both the soul and the spirit, soul, and the body in hell. So if they're against you, that's because they're against me. For instance, if you're nice to somebody and they see that and they take advantage of that, it's because they're against God in the sense of God is gracious and kind. And I still believe that God is the ultimate creator of it all. He don't pick and choose. The rain falls on the good and the bad. But to me, God is love. Okay? God is kindness. God is patient. And he's slow to anger. So if God can be like that in my life and I mimic that understanding and kindness and love towards, the people I meet on everyday life, that is evident that God is like, he's there, right? Not everybody gets that because they're in their ego. When this woman said, the, what needs to be right will be right, when she messed up one of my documents, one of the ladies from the team of the gaslighter, it gave me confidence when God says, number one, do not touch my anointed ones. Number two, do my prophets no harm. Number three, the righteous will always be righteous and always have justice. Okay. Um, and in my case, which is also very funny, I don't know about you guys, but when you do have evidence and witness and the enemy is trying, oh, I don't know, something must be brewing or something. It's so funny to me. But yeah, that's pretty much a little testimony time. Don't worry, God got you. And if you're like me, you got the receipts, you even got people with you, but you're still dealing with the shenanigans of the gaslighters, the people that are trying to go against you for no reason, for no apparent reason. Because just like in my situation, I've been nothing but honest, upfront, kind, right? And the people that are doing the shenanigans, the gaslighting, and are against me, they even voiced, you come across very kind and nice. So why are you trying to fight against it? Like, what makes you so eager to test the waters? If you stand so firmly in your faith, perhaps you're just, but like, I don't know why people out here do evil and shenanigans and deceiving people and manipulating people and gaslighting people and harming people. Like that doesn't make sense to me. Because I was trying to figure out what is it? Is it power? Is it money? Because in my case, okay, the money thing, they will lose out on money. They will their reputation would be tarnished. So I guess is power a power over what though? If you're supposed to support me and help me, how does that give you like I still don't know why people do weird stuff like this, trying to control narratives and manipulate like that it doesn't make sense. And it seems to be from people that already got things from higher ups and they're already good, but this I don't know. I don't know about you, collective, but it's just so funny to me. Like, perhaps they don't have. I must tell you this: anyone that goes against me, specifically in the physical, and they're trying to support me, it does. They will lose out. Because why are you trying to listen? I've got gaslighting thing is something throughout my entire life. It's been a thing, okay, and to this day, for everybody that's trying to do me wrong, have done the gaslighting it doesn't benefit them. It really, I don't know. I really don't know. But this is not to complain. This is to give grace to God. Grace. This is to give honor to God for the grace that He has given me and this front. Um, and you also reminded me of the other times I was fighting for my justice. It is a small thing, but I was trying. Somebody was trying to bamboozle me, scam me out of again when it comes to my finances, right? And when you're thinking, there's a receipt. People saying, "We got your back." For a year, for a year, a specific brand did not want to give my money back. For a year, I went back and forth with them with the receipts, with people coming in and for a year. It's the insanity of it all. And I'm thinking, what the heck is happening? They're reading things that have the documents. People are reading it, vouching for me. Is still in denial for an entire year. And I was like, okay, that was like my first. It was just, oh, the days. But God reminded me of that because I felt a bit gloomy with this gaslighter just recently that I dealt with for like 2 months, almost three in February, depending on what would happen in this month. This month, I'm kind of like I'm over it. I'm done. And reminded me of when I was back going really hard for my money throughout that year. Interesting times. Um, this is also when it comes to my finances of some sort, but they it's not a brand based, and they're supposed to have awareness of more of the personal stuff. So they know me a little bit on a personal level, except you know, except from that brand situation. So for them to be knowing me on a personal level, for them to still take the initiative to do me wrong and gaslight me, but like why? You, I don't know. I don't know. We go through this collective. I just it's so funny to me, and I had this anxiety because I was kind of like, you know what? No, I think I need somebody new on my team, and I called their boss, and I was kind of like, I need to switch it up. I called them again. I'm like, I think this is the final straw. Um, because this is borderline narcissism, right? And that's quite triggering for me. But during that time, because I didn't think too much of it, because the way we had this discussion, me and this gaslighter, again, the way he came across, I'm like, okay, now they're getting aggressive. Okay, now this is different, right? I don't deserve this. I don't need to be in this energy. I don't need to deal with this energy. Why am I here? And I kept asking God, and I even shuffled cards because it still don't make sense to me. And as I went home and reflected over that whole gaslighting moment, I burst into tears. And it's not PMS season, jokes aside. And I'm thinking, am I people pleasing again? Why am I in this energy? Like I'm always voicing my opinion. They know this, other people know this. I'm not people pleasing anymore. But the fact that I realized that it was gaslighting and also got emotionally upset about this, I was like, okay, clearly the energy here is more than just physical. This is some spiritual shenanigans. Okay, this is what happens to God's people. Okay, um, I was like, okay, let me do a cord cutting. I tried to do it one time. This is the second time. 'Cause I was like, God, I did everything I could do physically, spiritually, right? I prayed, fasted, all that. And I see the small changes, but the devil be working overtime. So I was like, I don't want to deal with this anymore. I don't deserve to deal with this anymore, this energy. So I was like, okay, this is the last straw. And then God reminded me of scriptures again. You're not the first person, and you won't be the last to go through oppression, especially being one of God's chosen ones. It just comes with the territory. And the funny thing is, collective, I don't even have to preach the gospel to do so. It's just my presence alone. I don't even, that's the thing. My presence alone, your presence alone, because you're God's chosen one, will aggravate their demons within them, or then the entity that's attached to them. But it shouldn't be that case. Why are you against somebody that you know is a good hearted and you spoke about it, but you're still trying to take them down? Like, make it make sense. I don't know about you guys, but it's a lot of interesting shifts. I always say this, it is the full moon, like I said. There's always some shenanigans that seem to take place, and this is no different. I do have other insights as well. I put down God's daughter, and I feel like I kind of low key explained that. The second one is triple of three, who is basically being protected on all levels and dimension. Okay, as above, so below, as within, so without. Um, if you see triple seven, triple three, that's your confirmation. It's also going to be yes. Angelic guidance is with you, protecting you. Your spirit team is on this as well. Um, you're not alone, basically. Okay, we got the angels on board, God, heavy on if you're chosen one, and your ancestors are keeping watch. Okay, it could be the smallest things. You know, it doesn't really have to be financial, but it could be people gaslighting. It could be, you know, whatever. Just know that your sport team is keeping watch. Okay, because if they're doing it for me, I know for a fact they're doing it for you. Okay, so with that being said, that's everything as of today. Um, I'm really grateful that God is in my life like this. I want to add a little jokey joke. So I was like kind of reflecting while I was going through all this before, I had my little emotional moment. I was like, why, God? And I was like, this must be for my character development. It's kind of like when you're playing a game and you're about to meet the boss. So I'm like bulking up to becoming the boss or meet the boss. So there, I don't know if the saying is correct, but they always like there's a saying, new levels, new devils. So I guess, to make sure that we stay strong in our faith and that we don't falter. So we're always going to be tested. And yeah, as annoying as it is, I feel like that's always going to be a thing, like being tested. So, but the beauty of it all is that we overcome. That's the thing. The beauty of it all is that we overcome. And if God does, Yeshua does, being his children, we shall will overcome. And yeah, it sucks, sometimes. It sucks more when you're like alone physically. But the thing is, I feel like, at least in my life, even being alone physically kind of has proven the point how big God is in my life. And you need nothing but God. Like, I'm a testimony to that. Like, there's so much stuff I've been through. Like, to this very day, people, like, I know I'm very positive and living like, right, like in my daily life and even on here as much as I can be. When I'm not doing back to back readings, I am very much in this energy 90% of the time. I really am, because God says, if you're happy, be happy. If you're sad, be sad. But remember always to know that your feelings are always going to be valid. I'm very big on vibes, aka vibration, aka energy. And what I give out is what I receive. And if somebody doesn't like it, God is going to make sure I receive it from Him. And that's why I am so grateful. I don't know if this is cohesive enough. This really feels like one of those testimony instead of like, a little insight for you guys. But I'm trying to be like everybody else. I'm trying to be hip. They always infuse their own stuff in their readings, right? Or in messages. Why not? Let me also join the train of being like everyone else. Because being alone is nice, but it's not really, I don't know. I just have to join the crowd. I feel like I'm too of a, like I'm a black sheep in the black sheep of being a black sheep, right? And they're like categories. So it's like black sheeps are unified. And then you guys have seen my readings, and if you don't know much about my insights and me, it kind of look feels like it's all over the place, all over the place. On that note, I've seen your guys' likes and comments and the subscription. I'm very appreciative of it. Listen, guys, you're coming through. You are liking this. My goal personally is to be self sufficient on here. So I feel like that's the reason I kind of have to readjust and be like everyone else. Because according to YouTube, my messages are a bit limited. Okay, it's not mainstream. Okay, which is also quite odd. Um, if you look at like on paper, my how it looks like my entire channel, but my channel is not mainstream. It's not big on the algorithm scale, but I'm about to be. Okay, so if I need to readjust and be like everybody else for a minute, then so be it. Okay, but nonetheless, for those real ones that have been with me from the beginning, keep on coming through. I'm gonna tell you this: anything that you want less mainstream, all you have to do is go back years down the line. Okay, so this is just like a pre-warning. If I become too mainstream, too of this like the essence is not there, go back to my old readings because they will still be there. like I say, I do 5 readings a day. I've been doing it for like 5 years on here. Um, for not to overwhelm everybody. I believe there's only 2 years of content on my YouTube, so there's that. Okay, so listen, guys, 5 readings per day, 20 minutes. It's a lot. Okay, um, and I recently just realized that the system can't really process everything, so that's also one of the reason I probably would do less than 5 readings a day and go from five to maybe two and 3 to 2. Ultimately, it could just be once a day, but we will see. Okay, gonna be hip to the changes, to the shifts of it all. Um, but I'm very appreciative of all the ones that have been here, been there from the beginning, with with everything, with the changes, the weirdness, the good and the bad, and it doesn't make sense, but it makes sense. It doesn't resonate, but it resonates. From the long ass readings to the short ones, all of it, I appreciate you, like for real. Okay, and it helps me more to do this when you like it. On that note, thank you for stopping by and good luck in your journey in life.